Hey guys, so welcome to another edition of the Living Day by Day show, guys. We are definitely honored that you would take an opportunity to tune into the hottest, the baddest, the show that is definitely well-rounded. Of course, that's the Living Day by Day show, guys, right here every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am your host, Lakiva Wallace, and y'all know I do this show with another amazing talented comedian, and that's none other than comedian Eric E. Love Jordan.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's the word?
Hey, it's a lot of word going on in the nation. I can tell you that right now. But for those of you who are tuning into the Living Day by Day show for the very first time, and you're wondering, what is the Living Day by Day show all about? Great question. It is a show that's going to bring you an avenue of information, an avenue of education, and an avenue of inspiration. So we're excited that you have taken the time to come on down and be a part of the inspiration, the education, and all the information that we drop right here on the LDBD. That's the Living Day by Day show, guys, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So take some time right now, guys, to Facebook, tweet somebody, Instagram somebody, email them, text them, knock on their door. I don't care what you need to do. Let them know that we are live right now. Lakiba and Eric, we are live right here on the set of the Living Day by Day show. Or should I say, on the set of our homes.
Yes.
Y'all
yes,
know ain't nobody going nowhere. We right here in our homes, guys, broadcasting live right here on Zoom. But we're gonna get into these hot topics. I tell you, there is so many different things that is going on in the nation right now. So we want to take some time to be able to dive into and have a dialogue about what's going on in the nation. So E, come on with it with those hot topics.
All right. So Hot Topics is brought to you by my favorite soda, Sprite. Endorse us. Plan. Sprite. Hot Topics. All right, so let's go ahead and get into these hot topics. Man, oh man, we got a lot going on. All right, so all 50 states are basically protesting.
Exactly.
And even the whole world, the country, but we still got Coke 45 that won't address it. That's a shame that the president came before you had to come on and tell everybody to calm down. I trust you, I believe in you, and do the whole speech that he's supposed to did.
Right.
Which is weird and crazy. He out there putting borders around the White House. I don't know if y'all saw that, but he putting borders around the White House and not even addressing all the stuff that's going on. So my mom always said that if a hit dog will holler, or what's another saying? If it smell is you, if you the one that said, "Ooh, what's that smell?" You did it. When everybody's saying it's you, guess what, brother? It's you. So I mean, Code 45. Let's get together. Just admit that you're wrong. I'm just saying. Let's look at the facts here. How many people don't died in the United States of America right now? How many people don't? How many unarmed black men have died in the United States? This is before Code 45 became president.
Right.
Now, how many? All the stuff is going on right now. What are you going to do about it? As a commander in chief, you have will, you have power to do things. You say you have all this power to do all these things, but how are you going to use your power? Using your power on Twitter. Yeah. Using your power to talk about folk. You're doing all these things. I mean, what are you really using your power for?
Nothing. I mean, he said in a press conference earlier that I am law and order, and I just thought that was just the most ridiculous thing. Here you are trying to pull the authority card. You're trying to pull I'm in charge card. You got people around the world who are rioting, people around the world who are hurting because Black lives don't seem to matter to nobody, and like, what are going to do and I'm not even going to call him president. What are you going to do? You're sitting at the White House, whatever title you want to be, 45, but you're sitting at the White House and all of this is going on. Like, I don't care what anybody say. I mean, we don't like to put titles on people. I mean, we don't judge people here on the Living Day by Day show, but it is It is what it is. I mean, it's been widely known that 45 just does not support the African American, brown, and Black community. It is what it is, you know, and when it comes down to someone's life and you have no regard for that, yeah, people are now seeing why they shouldn't have voted.
Right. And it's going to be very interesting, you know, when we get back to voting again. Because all the people that, you know, that voted for him before and all the stuff that's happened, that's transpired, that's take place, that is doing right now, you can't tell me that you still want to keep this man in office. You can't tell me that you really want this man to come back again. I mean, honestly.
Right.
You can't tell me you want 4 more years of that person?
Right.
If you do, you want 4 more years of that person, then you already should know we're going to reap the consequences of what we have. This man in office ready to cite a race war. Basically, we're going to end up having a race war where a lot of people going to die that should not be dying.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's in the word of God that where that's supposed to take place and happen right now. You know, it's, you know, but that's what, if he comes back again, I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. That we're going to end up having a race war.
Yeah. And it's really unfortunate. You know, all I can say is that in this time right now, if you have not been praying, you better get you a prayer life. You know, you better cover your children. You better cover your spouse. You better cover your family. You better cover your finances. If you do not know Jesus in this season, I am telling you right now, as a woman of God, as someone who has seen God do amazing things, who have seen God do impossible things. I'm talking when there was a line of no's, God was still the only one holding the yes. When it was all impossible, God was the only one saying that, oh, that's still possible. If you do not know God in this season, I am telling you, you better get a relationship with God. You better get a relationship with God so God can begin to direct your every move. He can begin to direct your every step. He can begin to talk to you late in the midnight hour where you'll know, okay, this is what I'm going to do when I get up in the morning, because I'm sorry. I have no trust in Coke 45 whatsoever. I don't. I mean, I have to keep, I don't care who is in the White House. I mean, we know Donald Trump's in the White House right now, but for me, I don't care whoever is in. I mean, I care, but I can't really put my whole feelings into that, because I have to trust the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, because when you are in authority and you choose to misuse your authority, the only person that I can rely on to protect me and keep me and my family is the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. So I'm going to let you jump back in, but you better, I can't even be grammatically correct with that, you better get your relationship with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
Right. All right, so let's switch gears. Do you know, I'm sure you know that, because in your history in your life, you talked about where you came from, who you know. So I know you know the rapper Trina.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, you know her Twitter account has been canceled.
Oh, no, why?
Well, because of the comments that she made on Twitter, calling the riots, the people nasty, saying all these different things, and saying all this craziness, and so her Twitter account got canceled.
My, really? Like, out of all the people who were on Twitter saying negative things, like you, okay.
You would think Donald Trump's Twitter account would have been canceled, right?
Ditto.
I'm just saying, but yeah, right. I thought it was very weird. So, but my last one, Justin Timberlake, he's getting a lot of flack from his white fans, from saying that, he said he's supporting the protesters, and he made a large a donation to bail protesters out. And so a lot of his white fans are like, how dare you do that? These are people that are looting and rioting. And let's just be honest. The videos I saw, the looters and the people that were robbing didn't look like me.
Okay, talk about it.
The ones that were breaking stuff in the very beginning didn't look like me. There's tons and tons of videos showing police officers dropping off piles of bricks. Oh, they showed a video where two police officers are watching a white woman spray paint a building, putting on their BLM, and then they told us, oh yeah, don't forget to write the word Floyd.
My God.
Laughing while they do it, knowing they're going to get blamed for it.
Right. Absolutely.
There was another video of a woman, this African-American sister, she wasn't playing. These white people was in a car. They drove her to a group of black guys and handed them a brick. She gave that brick back to them. And said, how dare you do that? Why would you give them a brick? You know they could die from that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I can say is if you think you're going to continue to mistreat Blacks, African American, Black people, brown people, however you want to title us, because no matter what you call us, we have a stronger power that looks over us. We have a stronger power that has unconditional love for us. And so no matter what you plot, no matter what you think you're doing, vengeance from the Lord, that's something serious. That's something serious. So if you're out there and you think you're going to continue to just dismiss Black lives, because we might not matter to you, but there's a higher power that we belong to and that we matter to. So you better get yourself together, because I'm telling you, don't think you're just going to continue to just be willy-nilly and there's not going to be any consequences. We are going to start seeing in this season that police officers are going to be going to jail for the injustice that they do. We're going to begin to see, and I'm not racist, I have a ton of Caucasian friends. I have a ton of African-American friends, and on each side there's good and bad. So I want to bring balance to what I'm saying, but for those of you who hate African-American people, don't think you're going to just continue to get away with it, because I promise you, God is going to bring some force. And you don't even have to believe in God for God to stand up for his people. You ain't got to believe in God for him to stop you from doing what you've been doing from a negative perspective. You do not have to believe in God for God to show up for the people that do believe in him, for the people that he has unconditional love for the people that he cares for the people that he watches over, and the people that he protects. If you think you are going to continue to kill our people and hurt our people and put our people in jail, you got another thing coming. You got another thing coming, because I tell people all the time, I don't claim to be this, that, or the other. But what I do claim to be is someone who knows God, someone who prays to God, someone who hears from God, and someone who believes and trusts in God. And I know the things that God have told me in my private time, enough is enough. Enough is enough. God is about to show up for the Black people. Black lives that matter. God is about to show you exactly why it matters for the Black people. So all the riots, all that stuff that's going on, you know what, E, and I know we don't have a lot of time before our guests come on. Haven't seen him chime in the room yet, but, there's a lot of negative, and I'm never one to support violence. I'm never one to support destruction and, tearing up our city. I support Mayor Keisha Lamb's Bottom, who I have high regards for. I definitely support her when she set a curfew, when she said, stop it, y'all need to go home and stop it. I support and I agree with all of that. But on the other side, there's always another side. On the other side of that, people, we are hurting. We are hurting. I mean, I have, I can relate to this. I have a Black son. I have Black nephews. I have family members who, I have Black cousins. I have friends who have sons. I can't even relate. I can't even relate to a mother losing a child, period, but certainly losing a child to such hatred and such violence. And, it's such injustice. So all I'm saying is, people, pray. Whatever you do in this season, make sure you just pray, and pray. But I am happy to say that, I watch the news all the time. I'm a news junkie, and I was listening just the other day that the police officers involved in the killing of Mr. Floyd have been charged.
Yeah.
And I'm glad about it. I mean, it's overdue, because
All 4 officers have been charged. And if we're looking at all 3 of these different cases, well, there's another case that's happening right now in Atlanta. 2 teenagers, well, I call them teens. Well, I'm sorry, 2 college young people were pulled out their car. I guess their curfew had just started, but it was kind of odd because it was a row of cars. I don't know what led up to them targeting their car specifically, but they tried to just bear open the doors, didn't explain what was going on, didn't say go home, they didn't say anything. That's not how the video started. But I would have been scared too. He just drove off and then went up a little further in the traffic. You hear the police officer saying, "Wait, he's not getting anywhere." They slashed their tires so they couldn't drive off. They busted out their back window. They basically pepper sprayed them both, tased them both, and was yelling, "Get out the car." The girl was like, "I'm trying to get out. What's going on? Let me get out." But she was scared. And on top of that, when they tased the young man, he had a seizure. Our mayor, our mayor of Atlanta is so wonderful, man, awesome sister. And she moved quickly. Fired all the 2 of the officers immediately got fired. And they're being basically charged.
And I thought maybe I was missing a part of the video because I did see like what happened before. What led the police to go to the car? Like, was there some criminal activity going on? Something that prompted the police officers to target them? I couldn't. That part I didn't. I thought maybe I missed it. But
I was confused too because it wasn't like they were the only car in that row. It was several cars. It was like 5 or 6 cars in that row while that video was going on. So if you're trying to tell everybody to go home, what did this car do? What did they do to warrant what took place?
Right.
Like, did they flash a gun to you? Did they spit at you? Did they cuss you out? What happened? What did they? Did they almost try to run you over? I needed something for that to take place for you to target that car and use that type of force to get them out the car.
Right. And I saw them, breaking out the windows. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, what did they show them? A grenade launcher? What happened?
I don't know. I didn't get that part. And, I saw them dragging the girl out, and then you couldn't really see everything that was going on in the car with the young man, but you could see that he was in a disabled position. Like, I mean, they had been
because they tased him and he started having a seizure, I think.
My God.
And so when they tell him to come get out the car, he can't get out the car, and the man was having a seizure.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to move? You not know when you tase somebody in their body. Everybody acts different when you tase them. People have died because you tased them. You put bolts in their body. It hooks to their skin. And then you zap them.
Right. And I think the problem is it has been allowed. It has been allowed so long that some police officers, and I see our guest is in the chat room, it has been allowed so long that it's just normal. It's normal. And we're going to switch gears here because our guest is here. This is normal. And an abnormal thing should not be normal, but it's been so normal for so long for Blacks to, be treated, just no justice, But, we're going to switch gears because I'm telling you, this is sure as I am a mighty woman of God. God gonna show up, okay? He gonna show up. He's already showed up. He's doing some things in the background, in the way in the background that things are about to change. So if you're out there, you're an officer, I'm telling you, you better get yourself right. Because if you don't get right, the vengeance and the things that are going to come up against you and the consequences for you not upholding the law the correct way, all I can do is pray that in your bad season, you don't lose your mind. That's all I can do is pray. So, but thank you so much for those hot topics, and they were brought to you by
Sprite. Come on, the sign is up, Sprite.
Awesome. Hot topics. And listen, we speaking this thing into existence. So, right, if you're out there and you're listening, of course you're listening. What else could you be doing on a Thursday at 7:30 or 7:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Listening to the Living Day by Day show, the hottest show that airs in the Atlanta area. So some amazing hot topics brought to you by celebrity comedian Eric E. Love Jordan. But now, guys, we're going to change gears. We're going to shift gears a little bit. I am so excited, guys. I am so excited about this interview. I am truly honored to have an opportunity to introduce to some and present to others the amazing, the talented, the multimillionaire, none other than Mr. Tem the MatchMaker is on the Living Day by Day show.
I'm clapping for the millionaire part. Yeah.
Right. I'm still waiting for that.
I see the walls. I see the walls in your house, sir. Right. Sir, millionaire walls. Look at the curvature on the wall by the door. Sir. Sir, there's no stucco on top of that ceiling right there, sir.
Don't let them fool you, Eric.
You came in with the white shirt and you got that background with those spotlights, man. You got, move your right shoulder, sir. Move your right shoulder to the right, please. Look at you on that.
Wow.
Yes. That is Italian design for your house. That's not an apartment, is it, sir?
It's an apartment.
It's an apartment in the high though. It's in the. Trust me.
I'm trying.
Are you in California? Are you in California?
I'm in Atlanta. I'm down the road.
He's in the A. He's down the road.
What apartment got them used like that on the door? Ain't no apartment like that. That's a house.
Post apartments. The design.
Those apartments are tight. Those post apartments do.
Yes. Yes, you already know.
Yeah. No. Well, we're so excited. You are just, he's very modest too, guys. Let me just tell you about, Mr. Tem the MatchMaker. Such an incredible guy. I mean, when you have sought after, you have so many different people who are watching you, so many different people who want to connect with you. We are honored that you have just taken some time to stop by the Living Day by Day show. And everything I said, y'all, don't believe him. You better believe me, okay? This is an amazing young man. Definitely. So, Tem, take the opportunity to tell the people of the Living Day by Day show all the amazing things that you do and who you are.
I am Tem the MatchMaker. So I guess the title gives it away what I do. And with matchmaking, it isn't like the usual matchmaking, I guess, where somebody asks you questions and so they say, oh, you're looking for this, you're looking for that. Okay. A lot of the times when we speak from that point of view, it's our ego. It's that side of ourselves that's always changing what it wants. It's conditional. And if I match you with somebody based on your conditions, as soon as your conditions change, you're no longer fulfilled. So it's very short term. So I go a lot deeper. I analyze personalities for your core instincts. What fulfills you on a core level, that's not going to change. And when I understand that, then I can match you with the right kind of people. And it may not look like what you want, but when you talk, when we get that connection going, that is what I live for. And
so let me just hear what you're saying. You don't go off of looks. You go off of what this person needs.
What they need, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. We've got these guys and these women that get the supermodel looking like person. And in a year, they're like, oh, you take him or you take him. I'm fed up with him. I can't stand the side of them. It happens, you know? So it takes more. When you're fulfilled, you'll do whatever. Whether it's a job, whether it's that, that food or that person, you can't get enough of them when you are fulfilled on a truly deep soul level. And and when we talk about power couples, those are the types of relationships that bring about power couples. When you're fulfilled, you do more, you be more. So anything less, no, that's McDonald's relationships. I don't do that.
Well, I truly agree with you. I think that does make sense because you can see Jay-Z and Beyonce together. And that's like, everybody was like, how did Jay do that? I'm just saying that. I'm not, Jay-Z, please don't send your goons after me. I'm just saying, Beyonce, it was like, woo-wee. And ain't nobody was talking about Jay-Z. It was like, woo-wee. I ain't never heard no female look at that. First thing they say, Jay-Z got swag. They never called him cute.
Right.
They never called him handsome. They say he got a lot of swag. And along with that, he got a lot of money. So, I mean, you know, hey.
You just never know what's going to be said. I'm telling you. Listen. He's speaking truth, though. I mean, it's so just from a woman's perspective, you know, oftentimes, you know, you'll find some men won't even approach a very well-rounded, settled, attractive young lady because they feel like, oh, maybe I'm not her type, not knowing that you have some well-rounded, attractive females out there who they're not after all of that. They're not after the fame and the fortune because they already have that for themselves. They're not after that. They're after something a little bit more deeper, you know. And then you have women out there, and I've never understood it. You have women out there who have no substance, you know. They're looking for substance, but they have no substance. You're looking for a 6- and 7-figure guy, but you got no coins, you know. You don't have nothing to bring to the table whatsoever, you know. And I think, you know, even the flip side of that, sometimes that's what guys are looking for, and then they realize down the road that, oh my God, what did I do? I mean,
if they're lucky, they will come to that realization, and it changes everything. But it's almost like a rock bottom you have to hit. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
So my question, Mr. Matchmaker, how does a person become like? I mean, okay, I know people growing up say, "Hey, I want to be a basketball player. I want to be a football. I want to be a fireman. I want to be all these different things." When did you come up with saying, you know what? I want to be a matchmaker. I'm good at this. I can hook people up and they stay together. When did that start for you?
Okay, it's around 2015, right? So yeah, 5 years ago. And before that, I was doing a lot of coaching, and the same techniques that I use in understanding personalities, I was going deeper into people to help them find their answers within themselves. And I started seeing patterns in certain types of people. And I just thought one day, imagine if I could match, because, you know, the majority of people's problems was like, I ain't got no dude, I ain't got no woman. And, you know, that seemed to be something that a lot of people always complained about. So I thought, imagine if I could match one person's core needs with the core needs of another. And there was a system that I was able to draw up, and I tested it on a few people. I tested it on couples that were together that I knew were doing good, and it mapped out. Then I tested it on some other people, and introduced them together, and they got on something. It's like, okay, I could do something with this. So it was really by accident. I didn't grow up wanting to be a matchmaker. No, it was the desire to analyze patterns to make life better for people. That's still what I'm doing. I'm just doing it now kind of directly through what they want. But the truth is, you cannot be good for anyone unless you're good for yourself. So that's the deeper underlying urge behind all of this, is to make sure, be good with yourself first.
So are there has there any type of person, I won't say male or female, is there any person that you will not work with?
Yeah, there's plenty of them. There's plenty of them. I mean, people.
But you're trying to match people. What are we doing? What?
I mean, okay, so I don't do hookup, so it's nothing. Don't come to me from McDonald's. I don't do that.
Okay, I get you. So if a dude say, "Hey, do you know Keke Palmer? Hook me up with her. I think that's the one for me." You're not doing that.
No, unless Keke Palmer is looking for someone, and I'm like, all right, let me analyze you, find out your type of personality, find out her type of personality, and see if there's anything there. If it works out, then maybe I can let her know, look, I've got someone for you, and I do believe that they synchronize with you in a specific way that you can get something from them. Now, when two couples do synchronize, it doesn't always end up in a romantic relationship situation. It can also be like they become business partners, or they become great friends or mentors. That's happened too. You know, I see the pattern of a match, but how it eventually pans out is down to the choices that the individuals make. Some people choose not to make it romantic, but yet they still are like, Tem, oh my God, my mentor's like my soulmate. You found the perfect person I was looking for. So that also happens too.
Got you. So you're basically saying some dudes do get thrown in the friend zone.
Yeah, it happens, but it's real. But it's the friend they needed. It's the friend they needed.
Because when the dude get thrown in the friend zone, oh my God, that is a horrible. I'm not throwing no one under the bus. I'm not gonna throw no one in the bus, but my business partner Lakiba has thrown dudes in the friend zone. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen.
But what happened though?
He like doing it.
What happened with one of them though is that, okay, so I matched them. They decided they're better off being friends, and it was fine. But because of how similar the personalities were matched, he was able to relate to her friends and actually started dating one of her friends.
What?
It all worked out.
So, how do we get my co-host a person? What do we need to do? Because no. Let me say this, because Lakiba is an awesome person.
Yes.
Lakiba is an awesome person. I always said if I was single, I would hook up with my cousin, and she's such an awesome person. What do we need to do to help her?
I'm not sure why this show is turned about me, but go ahead.
I knew it was gonna turn about you because I'm already hooked up.
Okay,
I'm not single, Lakiba. He can't hook me up. I'm already hooked up. My wife just came in the room and took my credit card to go to the store. I ain't can't get no more hooked up than that.
The first thing I would do. So Lakiba's like, Tem, put me up, man. Find you do. All right. I'm gonna analyze her. I'm gonna find out her inner type, right? So once I know her, and this is all based on how your hormones are structured, okay? This happens at birth. Your core personality, who you are as a person, the part of you that needs to be fulfilled, what's responsible for all your drives is encoded to you at birth. There are layers of character that you build through your experiences in life, but those are like the surface layers. Then there's your inner core. Your inner core, that's what I analyze you for. So once I know you, you're one of 16 types. So I know that. So the second thing is now, I might have somebody already put you on my database, which makes it very easy. I do, in some cases, say, well, okay, if you do have significant height preferences, let me know. That's important to some people. They want someone who's going to be a certain height or someone who's going to be a certain age. Because I don't want to hook you up with someone who's your type and you're going to push them around in a wheelchair. I don't think that's going to work. So we're going to make sure the age.
I can tell you right now, I already know, I know Lakiba, so I already know what she wants. I'm ready, all right? I'm going to see if I'm a good matchmaker. Because Lakiba, you tell me this is right. She won't swag like Jay-Z. He got to be an entrepreneur, but he need to look somewhat like Denzel or Idris Elba. And he need to be taller than her. And have an accent like you got.
You got it, E. Come on now.
Somebody tall, somebody who is conscious and aware, and is either is aware that they need to take control of their life, or they're actually doing it. That's the entrepreneurial part.
Right.
So those is what I would look for on my database.
Right.
Now, the other thing is that I know that Lakiba has no shortage of guys that come her way, right? There be all kinds of guys.
I'm like crazy.
She be walking in Kroger's and Target, and they be hitting her up left, right, and center and whatnot, and that's fine. The problem is, how does she know who's who? So what I would do is that, Lakiba, when these guys come across you, if you really have a conversation and strike up a rapport with them, then give them this link. And I would create a specific web page for her that says, if you like Lakiba, put your information in here. I just need your date, your time, and your place of birth. Because she's giving you this link, so she already likes you. And I'll analyze them. And if they go together, they'll both get an email saying, you know what? You need to start a conversation. This is the kind of relationship you can have. These are your talking points. go for it. Let me know what goes on in a week.
I like that. I think that's
Okay.
So
Okay,
basically,
Lakeema, let's get it going. Let's get.
Yeah,
Well, just know, but Lakeema, when you get hooked up, he can't get on the show. That's not type of show. It ain't but one. It ain't but one me. He ain't doing that. So put that on the database too. He can't be on the show.
Maybe
the
if you
show.
He
report
can come
target.
visit. He can come visit, but he ain't a static guest.
Oh
He need to
my
be.
God.
All I need to see is we need to send a hand come out of nowhere from the side, give her a drink.
Stop it. Stop it. So let me ask this question. So why
people
is
be
it?
doing that? You know what I mean? They meet someone, they're so excited, and they start merging their lives. But you know, you find somebody who's an entrepreneur, they're already going to be busy. They already have their own stuff, and that's why it will work if you have someone that's an entrepreneur. So yeah.
Nice.
So why is it? What do you find? Let me say that. When you're matching people up, a lot of people, say that, from let's just deal with it from a financial perspective. That some men that may be doing well, making 6-7 figures, they're not looking for women who are making less than them, and vice versa. You have some women who are making decent money and they're not looking for someone who's making less than them. Now, I think that's a little superficial. With the same token, you don't want to be making 6 figures and you're dating somebody that is flipping burgers at McDonald's for $12 an hour. That's not balanced. And the reason why I say it's not balanced is because if I can't pay the mortgage and it's already a couple $1,000s a month, I'm just hypothetically speaking, we know that the partner is not going to be able to put anything on the table because you're not bringing in the income to do that. And we don't want to make relationships about money, but should there be some level of a financial balance when you're out here shopping and putting these couples together?
What it is, it's about, first of all, we're talking about relationships. So you got to relate. If I've been busting my balls for 20 years, trying to figure out the secret of money, and now I've clocked it, and I'm setting myself up and setting my life in a certain way. I've got a certain way of thinking, a certain way of looking at life, a certain way that I will spend money, because now I'm over the whole illusion of it. I want someone who relates to that. So that's what it's all about. Not that you got money, but you look at money the same way that I do, whether you have it or not. We can have a conversation on the same level, not like I'm talking about, I've got to see how I can move the deposit from my bank, and someone says, oh, well, that means you can buy me a pair of shoes and make a better. No. Yeah, I'm not going to talk to someone who can be like, yeah, did you see the stock market today? Oh, wow, but the Dow made some gains. We can relate. So that's what it's really about. I would match people who look at money in the same way. Whether one has more than the other or not is really quite irrelevant, because somebody who has money, they're looking for connection too. And they would look for somebody who may not have actualized the amount of money as a millionaire, but will have realized how to go about doing it. That sometimes can be just as well, because it's like all that is left is for you to do it, but you realize that, I'm not thinking like a poor person anymore. So matching people based upon their concept and how they relate to money, that's the important part.
I think that was a perfect response, and I am all down for that. That is amazing.
Thank you.
But truly, Mr. Matchmaker, looks don't have anything to do with anything?
I mean, of course. I tell people that, you have your preference about looks, but talk to someone, because hormones change the way our perception of features. They change with hormones. You ever spoke to someone and they'd be like, you know what? I don't like your mom's cooking. I don't like the way your mom's house smell. And all of a sudden, that person look like they got horns growing out of their head. They're not the same. You don't look at them the same. But then, you bring your daughter or your son around, and the person's playing with the child, and they're relating, and you're like, when you're looking at them like this, and then slowly you're like, huh. And all of a sudden now, they start looking, they got that misty glow that you see in the movies. It changes. Our perception of people changes with the way that we relate to them. you know, and the more that we feel their energy, the more it interacts with our own energy system, it changes our hormonal response to them, and we start feeling a connection. Yeah, perception changes.
Awesome.
So
Wow.
be around them. That's all I can say. Be around them. Yes, I know you don't want somebody with an arm going out of their head. Just be around them. You never know, because it happens. I've seen guys in wheelchairs with 3 women, and like they got it like that. Why? We say swag. What is swag? It's an energy. It's an energy you're pushing out. When you push it out, people are attracted to you. There are singers like that ain't that hot to look at. They ain't that hot to look at. But when they go on stage and they get an energy, people are like, oh, they just look hot. So it's how you project. That is such a key part. Confidence itself is one of your most attractive features. If we can express our confidence, and that comes from having a good relationship with yourself. You can start expressing your confidence in the right way and know how to project it through clothes, through the way you stand. And this is what I talk about with my clients. All of this is important. Otherwise, I could present you with 1,000,001 women or men, and none of it is going to work. They're not going to like you. They won't like you if you don't like yourself.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that the percentage of divorces is what it is because people aren't properly matched up? That, you know, you see somebody, she cute or he fine, and bam, y'all just, you hit it off, and before you know it, you got the Walton family, 12,000 kids, you know. So would you say that's the reason for some divorces, that people don't really take the opportunity to get to know each other? I mean, they know each other in the sheets, and before you know it, you know, you might as well get married. You got 12 kids now.
Yeah, I mean, that is a thing. That is a thing. I mean, there's a couple of things there. First thing is knowing yourself. We don't grow up in a culture, right? Like typically when you get to the age, we always had, when you get to age 13, that's when you start making choices for yourself. You become like a man or a woman, right? We've heard that, whether it's like the bar mitzvah tradition or the quinceañera, you know, around that age. But since we've been over here in this culture, we've lost that. So, and we're not taught it in school, you know, to that emotional intelligence, that self-awareness about our purpose and who we are. And we don't necessarily get that way until we're in our 30s or 40s. You know, when you realize that after the children have left the house, what am I going to do in my life? I need to do something. And when you start thinking purposeful like that, that's when you start realizing, I don't have that much in common with him. When we were bringing up kids, yeah, but now the kids are gone. I want to do up yeah, so it's like, so that is a key factor of what happens where there's like the age range of 30s and 40s, even 50s. It's through the roof on these dating apps because people are realizing I don't have to stay with you. That realization was always happening back in the 50s and 60s, but you stuck with somebody because economics. But these days you don't have to, and people will leave at a certain age to really live the true life and be with the ones they wanted to be with when they were 20. That's what usually happens.
Great point. Great point. So for those, you know, the young lady out there, that, you know, young man out there that they're single and they want to get hooked up, they want to boo. I mean, they want to be able to explore their life. How would they get in contact with you, or like, how does it start? I mean, do they just hit you up on Instagram and say, hey, I'm single, and help a sister out or help a brother out? Walk me through how that initiates.
I mean, folks are out in the streets every night looking for someone. You know what I mean?
I met my boo at the protest.
Yeah. Like, well, especially with all this COVID, people was like, man, I need what was it? Quarantine boo. You know, people, that was a serious thing. So yeah, I mean, it's through, you know, doing things like this, or through my Instagram, or just, you know, I mean, people find me, they're looking. And as long as I make sure that, hey, I'm a matchmaker, you're looking for somebody. I mean, the whole idea of matchmaking for a lot of people can still seem strange, you know, because what you see on TV, you know, it's like, man, I ain't got $500,000 to pay for that. You know, it's not that type of process, you know. I will say this, you're gonna have to be prepared to be real with yourself. Because when I unlock your personality, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna tell you about the crap that you have that someone else can potentially see. And you have to make sure you have an answer for it. I'm not saying you're going to be crap free. Have an answer for your crap. So someone can know, oh, you're aware that you do that? You're working on that? Okay, that's fine. Let's see how that goes. But when you have no answer for your crap, or you deny this crap, nah, I can't work with you. You're going to have to keep on dating and get hurt 50 more times before you're ready for me.
Right.
You know?
But how do you know somebody got crap? How, it's like you just ask them a couple questions and it's sitting there go off in your head saying, he's crappy.
They be popping their head.
What it is, when I analyze people's personality, I actually get a map of all the different areas of their life and how these areas interact, where the potential conflicts are. And these are the things that shape your personality, but you got to stay on top of it, you know? Let's say, like, for someone like me, I have a conflict that's always there between home and work, right? So I'll either be married to my work or I'll be a hermit at home. The only way to resolve that kind of conflict is to work from home. You know what I'm saying? Or date someone at work. That's the only way I can find happiness. And that's one of, so I have to have an answer for that. And these are the kind of conflicts I see. And I'm going to make sure that if you date somebody, I'm going to set you up with somebody that is going to provide you a solution for this part of your personality. But you have to recognize that value of if you don't recognize their value, why would you try? Why would you try? So in order for us to see the value of our partner and to even try, we have to realize what benefits they bring to our lives. And someone has to have benefit to your life if they're helping you solve something. None of us are perfect. We all have something to solve. But when we treat our partner like crap, that's an egocentric thing, when we think, I don't need them for anything. And it's either you don't recognize what they have to offer you, or for real, you made a horrible choice and that person isn't the kind of person you need to be with. So why are you holding on? So I just try and make sure that, yeah, you both have a problem that you can solve, that the other solves. That's when you get people that hold on to each other for the right reasons.
I love it. So let's kind of go gender to gender. I know we don't have a lot of time here, but when you are speaking to men, do you express to men the importance of tapping into their sensitive side? And I say that because there are a lot of men out there who don't really know how to date a woman from an emotional standpoint. Meaning you can see a woman that, I mean, I have girlfriends, I have family members too, where, you know, they'll have this man in their life, but yet and still they're calling around to other people to meet the needs that this person should be meeting for them. And I don't see how a man could stand by and see someone that you're dating be in need of something and you do nothing about that. And the only answer that I could come up with is that, you know, some men are just not tapped into their sensitive side and into their emotional side. The other flip side of that is sometimes you'll have men who, mostly men who are making a lot of money, they tend to think that that's how they get someone, you know, and they're so used to buying women. When they can't buy one, it's actually an insult to them. So talk about that.
A lot of times, now remember, if you've got a couple that just hooked up regular, they may not have usually haven't done that kind of extensive interpersonal research to see if they're a real good match, and find out that, yeah, he's not really prepared emotionally. So remember, if he can't put his own feelings in context, how the hell is he going to understand yours? So yeah, because of a lack of emotional intelligence, there's no real way that they know how to respond. You know, he may listen, be like, okay, yeah, oh. And it's not what you want to hear. You want the engagement, you want the feeling. And if you don't get that, of course, you're gonna go to your homegirls or your other homeboy or whatever to get real answers. So that's something for men to wanna step up to. But that's something they're gonna be doing for themselves. And I definitely talk to them about that, about being more open with what you need, because that's the kind of thing that's gonna stop you from opening up to your partner as well. You won't open up, and so you're gonna miss out on a lot of the benefits of a good relationship. In terms of the guys who want to buy women. Yeah, I mean, it goes both ways. You get people that are only thinking about the situation of a relationship, as in, I have somebody who fits in. They will be here when I get home from work. They will cook. They look good on my arm. They dress in the same way like me, and it's a situation they're looking for. But they're hardly relating on an emotional level. So the bottom line of that is that we all need to become more emotionally aware of how we feel, having conversations with ourselves. We're not taught this stuff in school. It's generationally, it can be missing because it's not handed down from father to son and mother to daughter. So it's a big problem. It's a huge, huge problem. People just don't know what to do if you break down and cry in front of them. They do what you see on TV. Oh, don't worry, it will pass. It will only pass if you do something about it. So you have to know what to do. And a lot of us just don't know. You just react, get angry, throw something, but you don't respond. Responding takes intelligence. So emotional intelligence, that is part of what I do when I sign clients up. We go through all of this because I will match you with somebody who's done all this inner work and you haven't. And you will be the devil in that relationship. You will bring the doom and the gloom. I don't want you to be that person. Not if I'm representing you. You've got to be you got to be emotionally aware to an extent. And it is a process, but luckily, because of, for some reason, I keep on getting people that are on that track. The people that sign up for my services are like, have that kind of awareness. I think there's something in the way, the things I talk about, it just vibes with them. And yeah, I get good people.
Great response. E, I know you want to jump in. We only have about 3 or 4 more minutes here. I have some more questions, but I know I see it. I just, I've been hosting with him long enough. I just really got it.
She knows me like I know her. Yeah. All right. So now my question, this is my question to you. Do you match people that like the same, do you match men with men, women with women, or is it just specifically for men to women, women to men?
Great question.
I mean, it's 98% of my work is men to women, women to men. I do have some people who are looking for like same-sex situations where they may be bisexual. Yeah, as long as I can find the right personalities for them, absolutely. Everybody needs to be with somebody authentic to have a real relationship. So yeah.
Awesome, great question.
Nice. Let's go. Wait, I just want to ask Lakeeba. So, has anyone ever came to you saying, "Oh, I'm looking for someone," but they didn't tell you they already had someone?
Ooh. Wow.
It's happened. But what's so interesting about that is that matching people of the same type, because you get like the romantics. The romantics will want somebody who just gives them their heart and soul, right? So they'll match better with the rational people. They are the ones who like, it makes sense. One-on-one, we go together. And then you get the artisan types. They're the ones that like, yeah, it's just about expressing love. I can love anyone. And they go well with the managerial guardian types who aren't that moved. As long as they have someone, it's like, well, you can spend time with them. As long as I get this amount of time, this will make sense. It works. I've set it up before. And it's what they were looking for.
Wow.
That's why like matching types is crazy. But when what you're looking for, there is somebody that is offering that and vice versa. No request is actually too strange. And I've learned that over time. Somebody asked for somebody who liked to sleep with the dog in the bed. And I found them somebody who's like, okay, you want a dog in the bed?
Hey.
I ain't judging. I can't stand dogs. But I love them.
Right.
Wow. Well, before we close out, we have about 30 seconds, and I want you to answer this in 30 seconds. Is sex the most important part of a relationship? 30 seconds.
Yes.
No,
it's not.
Relating is the most important part of a relationship. When you can relate, it makes the sex better. You connect on more levels. You connect on more levels, it's more fulfilling. The more you relate, the stronger everything is.
I love that. So tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
Meet my types. Not M-E-A-T, not meat like chicken, M-E-E-T. Meet my types, T-Y-P-E-S, because you need to be with your types. If you're not with your types, you're wasting time. Meetmytypes.com. Also, Meet My Types on Instagram. That's how you get hold of me. Real simple.
Awesome. Well, you know, I love you. I thank you so much for just being a guest on the Living Day by Day show. You are absolutely amazing. We got to have you come back on a part two to talk about, you know, taking what you're doing now to mainstream TV, maybe Netflix, and maybe.
You got a hand in that.
Yes, I'm working.
And Lakiva could be your first contestant.
Yes. God is definitely.
I just want to be you could be the. I want to be the guy that introduced you, and then Lakiva could be your first contestant.
Yeah.
And
Let's do it.
Ask all the funky questions, and just be the waiter that's that person that's there all the time, like a fly on the wall. Because I just want to be in her. You already know this.
Well,
I feel this TV show is going to be awesome. Yes.
Yes, it's going to be awesome.
That.
Well, we thank you so much. We have 30 seconds before this show comes to a close. But thank you so much for stopping by the Living Day by Day show. And for all of you out there, make sure you hit him up. I'm telling you, if you don't know your type, you need to make sure that you stop by Meet My Types, because if you want to be matched correctly, this is the perfect matchmaker for you. He's already given out all of his contact information. He's all over all the social media sites that's out there. So if you single and you want a boo, you need to make sure that you hit him up so you can meet your type. We thank you guys so much for tuning in to another broadcast of the Living Day by Day show. Make sure you check out my website, which is livingdaybyday.net. Until next time, we love you real good right here on the set of the Living Day by Day show. Be blessed. Bye, everybody. Peace out.